Tube, hello Yarn Tube, hello YouTube, hello you. How are you doing? Are you having a good day? It is Wednesday the 29th of November, so this is day 29 of Vlogember. I am producing a video every day for the month of November, and then in December I will not be. That's for sure. So welcome to this. This is day 29, as I say, and this is going to be my third episode of my yarn chat. Going on from today, this will be called the Big Head Yarn Chat, and I hope to do probably 2 of these a month. I can't believe I will do them any more regularly than that. But who knows what will happen in the future. But I am absolutely loving the yarn community that I have found on both YouTube and on Instagram, where I'm Louise.Stinson. I shall leave my details below. Please come along and say hello. That would be lovely. And I'm also beginning to find my way in Ravelry. At the moment, I'm not really sure about it. In the book community we have Goodreads, and I don't really take part in the book groups there, but I thought the Ravelry community, it seems such a lifeline to so many people, and it seems to have the most amazing discussions on Ravelry. So I am going to start and try and get myself involved in that. There are no groups. I don't have a podcast group or anything like that. Who knows in the future? Maybe that'll be something I want to do. So welcome to anybody that is watching this video. It's lovely to see you. Hope you're having a nice day. Have you got something to drink? Because this will probably be one of my longer videos. I have myself a little chamomile tea. So there I have Tea Pigs chamomile tea. It is probably my go-to herbal. I do normally just drink black tea, but I try not to drink more than about 4 a day, and if not, it's herbal teas. And I absolutely love chamomile and mint, and I like all the fruit teas and all the herby teas. I'm an equal opportunities tea drinker, if I'm completely honest. I'll have a go at anything, and regularly do. So what I'm going to be talking about today is I'm going to talk about some of my backlist, which is here. You can see my backlist. These two. I'm going to be giving some details of that. A couple of people have reached out to me and said, "What could you tell me the pattern of that?" So Dawn, listen up. I'm going to talk about that. Then I'm going to talk about the things that I've finished. I have finished one, and then I have been working on other things. So I should talk about that. So in kind of podcast terms, that's the finished objects, or as I like to say, completed novels. And then I have my masterpieces in work, in progress, which are my drafts that I'm currently working on. Because I think about everything in bookish terms. I love all the knitting community terms, but of course I am a bookish person through and through. Really, that's where my heart is. So I think of everything in, well, this is my first draft or my second draft. So I'm working on a couple of drafts down here that I shall show you what I'm working on at the moment. And then also what I've got planned coming up, and then some incoming. So that's some new releases that I have received in the Big Head house. I live just outside of Cambridge in England, in UK, which is in the east of England, and is, well, I can't remember, 50 miles away from London. I live in a small village about 3 miles out of the centre of Cambridge. I live with my husband, known as the husband, and our wonderful, beautiful 9-year-old boy called Benedict. We have 3 cats. We have 2 older ladies. And we have a young, boisterous, bitey kitten called Indy. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So if you've watched any of my videos recently, you will know all of that. But just in case there was a new person that was wondering, who the hell are you? That's what they're thinking. But you're more than welcome, and you're more than welcome to say that to me. That's fine, I don't mind. So I have my chamomile. Let's get on to backlist. So I should talk about this straight away because quite a few people have asked me. So I have made, I don't know how many of these, and I have over there behind you, you can't see this, but just over there, I have about another 8 nearly finished. Okay, and those are more special, and I'm hoping to do something with those in future, but I shall talk about that another time. So this was Benedict's one that I made for Benedict. He wanted his exact colours, which was this magnificent bright orange, and that's his favourite blue. So those are his 2 favouriteest colours. So he wanted that. And it is a pattern that I got from Simply Crochet about 3, maybe 4 years ago. But it is by Hannah Cross. So I should put her name down here, Hannah Cross. And I believe she is just Hannah Cross on Ravelry. And it is her Christmas gnome pattern. I find it very easy now. It is done in the round, so they're crocheted shelf oaths. I weight them on the bottom. As you can see, there you go, that gives you a good idea. It is a paid for pattern, by the way. So you work it in the round, and then it's in the back loop, and you create this. You sew, so it's normally body, hat, and then you do the arms and legs. I've used wool roving. The only thing about wool roving is it does perish. So you could just crochet a little nose and add some whatever there. So this had a big full beard, but over the years this has perished. Wool roving does, unfortunately. But they're lovely. They're absolutely lovely. So I've weighted them. I can't remember if she tells you to do that in the pattern, so that they sit very nicely. And they are designed to sit on a shelf or to sit by under the Christmas tree. So they are designed to sit. So yes, they're absolutely lovely. I've done loads of them. So this one and his companion are in my lounge at the moment, and then that's Benedict's, and that sits with Benedict all the year round. So I call them shelf elves, and most of my family and friends have shelf elves. Over the last couple of years, I have done a lot of them. They are lovely Christmas presents. So yes, and I can knock one out in a couple of hours because I've done so many of them. But I think the first one I did, it took me a bit longer. But yeah, so there we go. So it's a pattern by Hannah Cross. You can get it on Ravelry. It's a paid for pattern. You can get an electric download. Okay, finished objects. My masterpieces, my current creations. So if you've been watching any of this, you watched me on Instagram or kind of any of the social medias in this last month, you will already know this. But I have completed the sock head hat. So this is it. Now, I had done one for my husband as a trial, and Benedict has one, our boy, but I had wanted one for myself because my hair tends to pull off hats. Now it's gone all wonky. I need to do it. I'm better with a mirror, but there we go. There we go. Actually, that looks all right. It is a free pattern by Kelly McClure of Boho Knits. So I got this off Ravelry, and it's a free pattern which I printed off. I always prefer my patterns printed because that's just the way I am. So I do still prefer the paper, so I do tend to print because I mark them and I write on them and what have you. So there we go. So it's the sock head hat by Kelly McClure. It was a free pattern on Ravelry, which I have seen on lots of people. I do think I am going to put a pom-pom. I think I might buy one of those really poofy ones because I think that would be very lovely. I did it in Stranded Dye Works Sugar Plum on the Oasis base, which is 75-25 superwash merino nylon, fingering weight. I have that much left. See that? It's gorgeous. Now, I do like solids and tonals. I'm getting more into these kind of patterns, these kind of colours, and when I was actually doing the ribbing I wasn't sure about it. I liked it, but I wasn't sure it was for me, so I've just got that little bit left. I wasn't sure it was for me, kind of thing. I can't work out how to do it anymore. However, when it came to the stockinette, I loved the interplay of the colours. It's coming out slightly darker than it is in real life. No, that's not too bad. And it's got such a lovely pattern. This isn't blocked. I'm tempted to give it a go to blocking so I could even it out. It's super soft now, and I think if I blocked it, it would be even softer. But how soft do I need it? It is super soft now. It's lovely and stretchy on the ribbing. That is just gorgeous, which is what I need for my my hair, because I'm having a flat hair day today, but my hair can get wilder than this, and so I need a hat that's going to cope with that. That's showing up bluer than it actually is, but oh, it's lovely. Look at that. My stitches aren't the neatest there, are they? It probably could do with being blocked. It would look more magnificent. However, I am very pleased with it. So I did 4.5 inches of ribbing, and then just about 9, maybe 9.5 inches of the actual hat. I did it on the recommended needle size, which was, bear with, chat amongst yourselves, 3mm, and I did it on 40cm circular needles. I used some Knit Pro thingies, which are behind me, and I can't get them out. They're in there. Knit Pro ones, and they were great. And I enjoyed them. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this hat was because I'm not used to using circular needles. I was taught by my mum, and she didn't use circular needles. No, she used the big long ones, and so I never got into it. It's a very new thing for me to actually use circular needles, and I wanted to try something, and this looked like the perfect project. So I would say, if you're new to circular needles and you're interested in having a go with them, then something like this is so forgiving, and you can just whip it, you know what I mean? You can just really practice and get the idea, the feel of them, of circular needles. Excuse me. And so there we go. So that is my finished object. Can also use it as a chin warmer. There we go. So that's the only thing that I have finished in the last couple of weeks, but I have been working on other things. So I have 3 works in progress, which I'm going to show you. I do have others, but I'm not going to bother to show you them because I'm not actively concentrating on them or working on them. I have got a lot of gnomes, but I'm not going to show you those because they're just different colour situations of those. So there are 2 main things that I'm working on at the moment. So these are my current drafts. If we're thinking, if you and I are talking books, even though we're talking yarn. Dum 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 dum. So I did show you the start of this, and then I ripped it out and I changed my yarn, and then I've restarted it. I know, you're thinking, what? So last time I did a yarn chat, I showed you this, see, my lovely paper, the Amulet Shawl by Helen Stewart. So this is part of the Shawl Society, which has been completely released now, by Helen Stewart, of Curious Handmade fame. And I wanted to do a shawl. I'd already done one, which was a small 1 skein shawl, and I wanted something bigger and more, just bigger and more enveloping, and so I thought I'd give this a go, the Amulet Shawl, because looking at it I thought that's something I could do. New to shawls, new to circular needles and all of that. So I started it using this wool. So there we go, and this is Twisted Finch Fossil. So I started this and I got to about 80 rows, which I showed you last time on the circular needles. And even then I had started to fall out of love with it. And what it was that I wanted a darker shade. And when this was knitting up, and it wasn't something I saw straight away, but when it was knitting up, it wasn't dark enough for me. I wanted it to be a deeper colour. I love deep colours. And you can't, can you see this? It has a kind of a light glimmer to it, and that's the only way I could describe it. I thought it was going to be darker. Oh, I'm a bit close. Let me just do that. There we are. I thought this was going to be a darker grey than when I was actually knitting it up, and I don't know whether it's actually me using it over time or just me looking at it. Here we are. So I had 2 skeins of it. Can you see there is a difference? I'm almost beginning to wonder whether, I mean, it's hand dyed yarn, so it probably could alter. So the 2 skeins aren't going to be exactly the same anyway. But I wonder whether in the process of actually using it, whether I was almost lightening it. Can you see what I mean? Does that make any sense? Does anybody else have any of that? Anyway, I do like this. It's not as though I'm saying, you know, begone foul beast or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I think it's lovely, but it's not what I wanted. And if you stay with me for any length of time and carry on watching these podcasts and these yarn chats, you will see I am fully capable of almost getting to the end of a project. And if I don't like it, I will pull it back. I want the things that I work on to make me joy-filled. I'm a process knitter, if I'm honest. The sheer joy is actually in the process of doing it. Process is all for me. I find it meditative. I find it beautiful. I find it brings me home to myself. And so, because of that, I'm not very tolerant for things I don't like. If I'm making it for somebody else, and that's a completely different thing, because I'm imbuing the object with my love for them. But not if it's something for me. I actually have to finish it and think, yes, I really like this. So the sockhead hat, perfect. Finished it and thought, perfect. Love the process and love the colour and what have you. So I picked up, I ripped it all out, and you know, I ripped it out the morning of my operation. So on the 20th of November, I went and had a routine operation on a femoral hernia keyhole surgery. So I'm kind of 9 days out from it, and I'm doing brilliantly. Everybody that wants to know, I am doing really, really well. I must admit, something's catching me slightly, and I might just have to adjust my trouser. There we go. But I am doing really well. With each day, I gain strength and what have you. So I ripped it out because I was going to take that to the hospital, and I thought, no, I'm working on it and I'm not happy, and I don't do that. And so I got this yarn, which I'd also bought with the idea of it being a shawl. And I thought, perfect, I'm doing it. I'm taking this to hospital. I'm going to sit there with all those times I'm going to wait, and I'm going to start working on my shawl. So this is by the Travel Knitter hand dyed yarnery, and this is an adventure skein, and it's an ook. It took me ages to work out what ook, OOAK, one of a kind. Look at that, and it's deep blue with flecks of deep purple and black in it, but it's mainly this magnificent deep blue, and I love this colour. This is the kind of colour I wear all the time, and it's pure merino sock, so it's not got any nylon in it. It's 100% superwash merino, which the other one had as well. So if you can look at the contrast, I kind of wanted that to be that kind of depth of colour. Now this feels softer, especially after using it. This feels, I don't know, just it's not, the strand is not as soft, and I wondered about that to begin with, and I suspect it's probably because of the amount of dye that's had to go into that to get that colour. I think it's so saturated with dye, it makes it slightly stiffer to work with to begin with, but having worked with it, it is softening up, and I think once I block it, it will look good. Anyway, excuse me. Here we go. So, look at that. Oh, look at that. I'm going to struggle to show it to you because I'm on 300 stitches by now. Let me see if I can open up a little part of it. So it should be the other way up. So I'm working, it's top down, so I'm working on. So you start with Most amazing amount of garter. Can you see that colour? Is that not just... I do think it suits me as well. The most amazing colour. And then you do an eyelet section. And then you do ribbing. So I am over halfway through on the ribbing. I have done 65% because the best thing about her patterns are, as I say, it's the Amulet Shawl, paid for pattern by Curious Handmade, is she does this thing where she gives you percentages down the side, so you know exactly where you are with it. I'm finding with this yarn, I'm not using as much. I must be knitting tighter, and I think it's because the yarn itself isn't as slippy. So in the other yarn, it was kind of poofing up more. And I was going through the yarn quicker. So I have only just changed to the second skein, and I should have done it quite a few rows ago. So this is my second skein that I've wound. And I just changed last night to it. I did all the garter. I did a good third of that on my first day in hospital. I had to stay overnight, so I was doing it at like 4:30 in the morning when I'd woken up. It's got this amazing detail on the edge, which I love. Then we've got the eyelet section, and then we've gone into the ribs. I've had to pull back on the ribbing quite once or twice, because on one bit, on one half, I have gone off one stitch, I think. Well, that's annoying with ribbing, and the problem is it's using this colour at night. So when I was sitting watching television, I think I must have somewhere gone off a stitch, and then I didn't find it until about a day later. So the majority of the ribbing is perfect, but I think there's just one or two little bits of it that isn't perfect. With this colour, I don't think you're ever going to see it. So I've pulled back a couple of times, but I'm not going to pull back anymore, and I'm just going on now. And if I see there's a tiny bit here that I think is a bit off, but I think it's only ever going to be me that knows that. And as it's for me. Oh, it's glorious. Look at that. Oh, I'm going to look magnificent. Anyway, so that's that. I'm very, very pleased with that. That is glorious. I think because of the knit, because of the rib, hello, doing all of that. Because of the rib, I need to do work on the rib in the day, and then I'm on the border section, and I think the border section I'll be fine, but it's just I'm going to have to work on the rib in the day because of the colour and making sure I'm not going off again. I'm being a lot more exact. The eyelet section, which I thought I'd have troubles with, I never did. I just went through. It's not. I don't think I'm the best at eyelets, but then this is only probably my second time at having a go at them, so I'm pretty pleased with what I did, and I didn't go off, so hooray, hooray. Tell you what has been an absolute boon, this little stitch marker with right side on it. I know there are many ways that you can do it, but that has just been, it's back from Yarnistry, and I'm sorry, but it's just been an absolute boon. And then I have been using this fine fella to keep me wise and to keep me watchful as my centre stitch marker. So there we go. So I'm hoping I will get that finished in the next week or so. And I'm keeping it in my Harris Tweed Debbie Bliss project bag. I don't have many project bags, and that is something that I want to do in the next couple of weeks, is to make myself some project bags, because I'm more than happy on a machine. It's just a question of cutting out the templates. I've got the zips and I've got the material, so I really like this size. I might do one that's slightly smaller, about that much, so that I can put socks in it and smaller items. But I must admit, I really like this. I like to be able to have enough room to put things in and what have you. So yeah, so that's my project bag. So that's the first thing I'm working on. I'm going to have to hurry up because I'm wittering. The second thing I'm working on is a new purchase, and then it's I'm working on it, and it is socks. So I do knit socks. I don't knit many socks, but I would like to get more into knitting socks. I knit socks mainly for the husband because he likes hand knitted socks. The wool on my feet I don't particularly like. I just don't. It doesn't sit comfortably for me. I have my skin doesn't really like it. But the husband, he loves it, and I've done him that much. So I'm going to have to say to him, don't watch, because this is going to be a Christmas present. I don't think he really likes it. He loves my book chats, but he doesn't. He said, not sure I'm going to watch your yarn chat, so I think I'm probably all right. So yeah, so there we go. That's how much I did. That was 2 days. I'm not really doing much at the moment because I'm recovering from the operation. So, and that's the wool, and it is West Yorkshire Spinners. It's my first time using West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, and this is in the colourway Tequila Sunrise. Oh yeah, Tequila Sunrise. I like it. 400 metres, 434 yards, 75% wool, 25% nylon. Contains 35% Blueface Leicester. I just thought I'd tell you that, but there we are. He wanted bright. He said, I want some socks. He needs some new socks, and he said, I want bright. I was like, okay, I have found bright for you. I'm using this very nice leaf as my beginning stitch marker, and then that was what I did yesterday, that much, and I'm using that from Beehive Knits. That's my progress keeper. It's not the neatest at the moment. I haven't knitted socks for ages. It could do with a good, it will look better once it's been blocked. And I do mine on DPNs. This is 2.5 72 stitch deep end, and it will be a completely vanilla sock because that's all I've ever knitted. I'm not a fancy sock person yet. I use just a vanilla sock recipe that I was taught by Judy Knits and Sews. That's my piece of paper to keep me, and it's just a normal heel flap, reinforced heel flap gusset. But I am keeping this book in my bag in case I need any kind of inspiration or any techniques. And this is Super Socks by Winwick Mum, who is a UK blogger and is very well known for her socks. And it's Christine Perry. So I have that book, which is, I mean, it's very detailed and answers all your questions about socks. So if you're new to socks and you're interested in socks, I would recommend that book. So there we go. So that's my socks. And actually, I shall just quickly show you. I have bought these. Grundel hot socks. Grundel hot socks. They come in 50 gram balls. It shows you the colour pattern, the self-striping. It shows you it. Isn't that cool? And I got these from Suffolk Socks, and I got the Tequila Sunrise from Suffolk Socks as well. And I ordered them on the Saturday, and I think they were here Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday they were. I was so chuffed. That's right, because I ordered them on the Saturday and they came on the Tuesday, and so they were super quick. So if you are in England or in the UK and you're looking for different kind of, you want to order in. So these are Grundel. So I think, are they German? Yes, they're German. They're obviously an importer of them and a stockist. So I really like those. So those are going to be for the husbands. And that's going to be for something I'm going to do for my works in progress in the new year. So I shall show you them again, but for the new year. So I was at Crochet. So you can see that's knitting, and I love crochet. And crochet was probably my first kind of love. So I was wanting something. For some reason, I just wanted to crochet something. So I looked up and I downloaded a pattern, which I'm going to have to look up. Bear with. Talk amongst yourselves right at the moment. Here we go. So I looked up on Ravelry and found square motif blanket because I just wanted something with squares. And this was I think I paid for this. And it's basically a blanket, but it was the squares I really liked. So there we go. So that's the schematic. And I can work off both written and schematic. Actually, it depends on how comfortable I am with the description. And it's Periwinkle Crochet, which I think is Australian. How cool's that? So anyway, diverted. Bit squirrel about that. Squirrel. So I had a go at doing them. So that was my first one. It's all trebles and chains, and I use UK terms. So I use UK crochet terms. So for me, that's all double trebles and half trebles and normal chains. But I really like it. And then it does teach you how to put them together. Now on this one, my final row, I did trebles, but I think actually you're supposed to have done what I did here, which was half trebles. Much for muchness. So I just was playing with these. They're lovely to do. They do, because it's quite a thick, this is DK, and the pattern's for Aaron, but I've used DK because I've got loads of it, so I was just playing. So this is Claret and this is Spice. This in the acrylic Supercraft DK, special DK. So there we are. So I had a go at those, and I thought, well, I could make a couple a week, easily make a couple a week for the next couple of months, and then put them together, and it could be a blanket for somebody. So I was thinking about doing that, and then I thought, well, the thing is, I actually do have a blanket that is partially done, which is also in squares, and that's really what I should be working on. So rather than getting all excited about the new, I should really look about finishing what I've got in this bag. So this is a bag. So I use tote bags quite often for project bags, just because I don't have that many project bags. But that's from the British Museum. But I am going to make some project bags. Honest governor. And let me include a picture here as to where I've got to. So that was something that I just laid out on the old bed, and I started this 2 years ago, and it was from Boho Crochet, contributing editor Marinke Slump, who unfortunately has passed away. She passed away not long after this book came out, actually. And she was such a well-known person in the crochet community. And whenever I think about her and think about this book, it just really reflects a lot of her style. And I was quite inspired with her. She did these most beautiful mandalas. I mean, just glorious mandalas. There are a couple in here, actually, which were very typical of her style. But she actually designed this blanket. And you'd make it in squares. So even though it is all circles, you make them in squares and then you add them together. And they did it in white, which is just not a practical colour for me with all my pussycats. And it's boho crochet, so it has that kind of hippie vibe, but I wanted something a bit more stylish for me, or something that was just more my kind of thing. And I thought I'd do it in all this special DK that I have here, so I'm not having to go out and buy things, and I will just be random with my colours. So here you go. So here's a couple of selections. So these are the larger ones that I've done. Whoa, look at that! And I have just done them in kind of fading colours. So that's what those are my large ones. I can't remember how many I've done. You weave in the ends as you go. So the only end that you actually have to go in and weave afterwards is your first end and your last end. I have stacks of them, all little colours. And what I was doing was I was doing the circles and then doing the black afterwards. I think what I would do now is I would actually try and complete all of it before moving on to the next colour. So for example, that's where I'm up to on that one. So I've got to connect and then move on. So yeah, so that's what I thought I would do. Looking at the pattern, as I haven't worked on it for ages, I now can't remember the pattern. It looks all trebles. Trebles, oh no, it goes up to half trebles and double, it goes up to double trebles and triple trebles. if you're into crochet. But I'm going to have a go at it. I'm going to do that. So, YouTube, yarn chat, my yarnies. Oh, I'm not sure I can get away with that. Can I get away with that, people? Can we call each other yarnies, or is there another word that we can call each other? If you can think of what we can call somebody, quite like somebody was talking about their pocket friends. But you're going to be my yarn buddies. I'm not sure yarn buddies either. There are kind of cool ways of talking about people, and I just can't get away with it. Some people can. I'm just not cool. As you can tell, as I'm sat here showing you my crochet. So yes, I am going to do that big. Okay, so I'm going to do it, but I'm doing mine surrounded in black. Wow. And I'm going to make myself a new project bag. So there we go. So I have my shawl, I have socks for the husband, I have gnomes, which are over there, and I have that. So my idea with that is I'm going to set myself a little, like, why don't I do 5 small squares and 2 big squares a week. And then I reckon within 3 months I will be able to put it together. So here we are, my commitment to you. You can hear this. You can hold me accountable. I've told the internet this, that I'm going to do 5 small squares and 2 large squares a week minimum. So if I get carried away and I do more, that's absolutely fine. So going forward, that's what I'm going to do. So I've got that. So the socks I should finish within a week, and that will be part of a Christmas present for the husband. The shawl I'm hoping I will finish in the next week or the next 2 weeks. So that's an ongoing project. Other projects I've got going forward. Let me just double check my notes. So yes, we're going to go on to incoming. So these are the new releases that have come into this house. I have got these. Put them there. And I also got this. I treated myself to this. Now, you remember how last time I got really, really excited about Vlogember yarns, and she did another update, and I did look at her Yarngasm. No, not Yarngasm. What was it? The Yule one. Vampmas. Oh, excuse me, itchy nose. Vampmas. Did you see that colour? That was amazing. That was my kind of colour because it was really bright. And I would say I'm not into speckles and that kind of stuff. I find myself continuously drawn to the really strong colours. However, I saw this on Amy's last release from Stranded Dye Works. It needs that. Will you Adam and Eve it? Can you Adam and Eve it, eh? Look at that! And I saw it, and she held it up and she said, no, there's going to be some reef dive. And I was like, what? And I thought, and then there was a couple of days later, and I thought, I'll just check. There was that one colour I saw. I'm tempted to get some more sugar plum because I do really like the way that has knitted up. But I thought, no. But I thought, you're not going to don't get yourself any. You've got plenty of stuff to be getting on with. And then it was there. And I've only got one because I am going to do this for socks. And they're not even going to be for me. They are going to be for the husband. But look at the colours. And I think I will get so much pleasure out of, look at that. Actually knitting these for the husband. Oh, they're just, well, I feel like that about it. So it's 80/20 superwash BFL and nylon. Its fingering weight is called a Reef Dive, and it's on her Fjord base. That's from the Muppets. If anybody's wondering what that is, Fjord. Beaker. And Swedish chef. Does anybody else remember the Muppets? Show my age. Love it. Absolutely love it. It has these amazing, and then people talk about amazing pops of colour. And I am now one of those. Amazing pops of colour. So that's going to go for the husband. So I might, if I can get those socks done, I might cast these on. The only thing is I can only do those when he's not here. I'm going to have to say to him, don't watch this. Don't watch this. Anyway, I should put them in the sock bag that I have. No, I won't. I can't. Because I need to keep looking at it. Keep fondling it. Lovely. Anyway, there we go. And the other thing that I've got, sorry, I keep going, too many things, is because, right, in January, Attic24, Lucy from Attic24, is releasing a new blanket pattern. She's doing it over 8 weeks, starting on Friday the 5th, and she is going to have a blog will come out with detailed instructions about the stitch, which looks like a more lazy ripple than her neat ripple, but it looks gorgeous. This is crochet, by the way, and she's I've got the details right here. So it's called the Woodland Cowl. I've got my book. Run by Attic24 Lucy. Will begin Friday the 5th of January. Will run for 8 weeks. Full picture tutorial for new ripple pattern on her blog. Each Friday she will share the colour stripe for the blanket that she is making. And it's 15 colours in total using Stylecraft Special DK, of which I have lots here. I went through and I had a good amount of the 15. So I thought, I am going to do this. So in January, I am going to start this. Now, I won't start directly on the Friday because I won't be around on that day. But I will do that week. Excuse me, that camomile's now repeating on me. But I was missing some of the colours. And Special DK, I get mine tend to be from Wool Warehouse. But sometimes Love Crochet, and Love Crochet, the internet site, part of Love Knitting, was doing 15% off all yarn for Black Friday, the Black Friday weekend. And that included Stylecraft Special DK, which is never, ever reduced because it's £1.80 to begin with. And so if they start reducing it, it's like 50p, you know, it's like kind of, so I got that. So I got all my colours. So I have now pretty much got the colours. Looking at it, I have one colour I'm short of a little bit. Other than that, I have got all the colours. So, have I got time to show you all of this? I'm not sure. So what I will do is I shall do more of this when it comes to be closer. So this is what I've got. Oh. So those are stuff that I've pulled from my my stash, from my collection behind me. There we go. That's what I've got. So that is, while I'm quickly here. So it's pistachio, lime, Lincoln, storm blue, grey, silver, gold, tomato. Yeah. And here I'll add as I go along. So mocha, meadow, which actually I do think I've got some, cypress, again I think I've got some, spice, which I've used for that was the end of that ball, copper, which could be one of my new favourite colours, it's lovely, duck egg, and mustard. So there we go. So in this entire basket is the 15 colours, and I can now, I would keep them in here, except there's normally a lining in here and the cat sleeps in it, although I'm quite tempted. She's not sleeping there at the moment, is she? Keep that as my woodland cow box. I think I'm going to. So this is going to be for the woodland cow, woodland crochet along, run by Attic24. I don't believe there are any groups for it, like Ravelry groups, but I will look about that in January and I will tell you if there is. So there we go. So that's what I'm going to do there. So I got 15% off each of those, and so I think it made it, they were like £1, excuse me, £1.50 a ball. These, I am going to wait. Oh, sorry, it just caught me. I'm going to wait and use this for a sock along in January, run by Amy from Stranded Dye Works, and she's, I think, going to do a commercial sock along. So I think, or it's a commercial yarn along. So rather than, because she does use commercial sock, she does knit with commercial sock yarn, and I think she was thinking that it was getting quite you could only use indie or something like that. But she seemed really quite passionate about the idea of getting people to use commercial sock yarn, because it is cheaper, and this feels very hard wearing. It will really suit the husband. So I got him those. So that is going to be in January. So the husband can see that. So that's going to go in January. The last thing I'm going to talk to you about, if I just very quickly look at my notes. Yeah, I'm doing all right. This is, oh no, the bag. There we go. The bag had got stuck under the chair. This is something, it's nothing to do, I'm not sponsored, nothing, anything like that. It's just, there's an opportunity for you to get involved in something, or to buy something from the 1st to the 3rd of December. And I don't think I will be doing it, but you might feel like it. And if you wanted to treat yourself to something, you might be interested. So, I love Sincerely Louise, and she started 3 years ago, and she does faux taxidermy. And she started off with foxes, and now it's an enormous range, and I love the dinosaur heads. So I think they're knitted, and you end up with these dinosaur heads, which you can put on your wall. And she's also now branching out onto jumpers and other little bits and pieces. And she sells kits, so you can either buy the pattern or you can buy the kit. And then she started this year. She seems a lovely person. She's UK based, she's London based. I've never met her, but I've followed her for years on social media for about the 3 years that she's been doing it. And I just think her passion is infectious, and she just, Louise, I think you're grand. I do think you're grand. So she started a couple of months ago this thing called the Curious Project, and basically you sign up unseen. So you sign up. You can either sign up for the 3 months, or you can do a one-off, or a 6 month. I just did a one-off. And for £30, I think it was, you could sign up, and you don't know what you're getting. And then you get this parcel with this tote bag. And these are kits that are not going to be available to the general public. They are just for the people that bought the kit, and you get everything in it. So I got all this Yarn Stories fine merino, which is it's so lovely. So you get all the yarn, and even darning needles. You get knitting needles. What is knitting? Yeah, I'll get a little bit of information. You even got sock stop to put on the bottom of your. So this project was to create raccoon slippers. Isn't that the coolest? And I haven't had time to do it. I haven't made time. I've had plenty of time. I haven't chosen to do it. And it's gives you all the details of the project. You have everything in it that you need to create these lovely raccoon slippers, which are not available to buy. She tells you absolutely everything, and you get this gorgeous project in a bag. And you can only buy it. So you can only buy it between the 1st and the 3rd of the month, and you have to, as I say, you punt basically. So September's. I think that was August's. Is that August? I think that was August. So either July or August, that one. And that was the first one I did. And then so September was her birthday. That was her 3-year birthday one. So you get clues in advance. So this was it. So it came, and it was really, can you tell? It's poofy. It's got filling in it. And, oh, look at that. Lovely big balls of wool. And this project, curiouser and curiouser, is to make a carousel horse. So it's the head to go on your wall. And there was a variety. I think there was 3 different colour schemes that you get. That's got pink hair. Mine was mine's pink wool, and my hair, don't know what colour my hair is. I've got black for the eyes and the nostrils. I've got flowers to put on it. And then it's just glorious. I mean, it's just utterly mad, but wonderful at the same time. And I've got roving and, oh, I've got everything in there. So yeah, so that's what I've got. Isn't it lovely? So there we go. There we go. So she has, the reason I'm telling you about this, I've dropped my, sorry. The reason I'm telling you about this is we're coming up to the 1st and the 3rd of December is when you can get the next one coming out. And it's a special one because it's Christmas, and all the hints are that it's going to involve sparkle. So if you are somebody that would be interested in something like this, or you know a knitter who likes doing sillier knits, it's not cool, is it? Well, it is quite cool. And might be interested in something like this. I would go to Sincerely Louise. I have absolutely no connection to it whatsoever. It's not me. God, I would love it to be me, but it's not me. But there we go. Sincerely Louise. I have no connection to it. But I just know that it's coming up on the 1st of the 3rd of December, and you might be interested, or you might know somebody that would be interested in doing something like this and getting her Christmas one, which is, as I say, the theme seems to be sparkles. So this was kind of beach hut stuff. And there we go, and I thought you might be interested. So I shall leave the details down below just so that I'm considering it. I don't know, because I've got those 2 yet, and I haven't done those. And then I think kind of like, well, it's a one-off, and that would be fun. But then I think I've got other stuff to do. I've probably got enough to do that I won't do it. But I would love it if somebody else would do it and then show me and make me feel like, oh, wish I'd done it. And there we go. So, looking at my notes, we're good. We're good to go. I think I've talked to you long enough about yarn and shown you lovely stuff. Oh, you can just leave me here. Come back in about an hour. I'll be like, oh well. Yeah, I'm going to hide that. Mind you, he won't know, will he? God, it's scrummy though. That is so scrummy. Yes, so there we go. All good. All done. All done for the day. And this is it. So this is going to be my 3rd episode of Yarn Chats. In future, quite often people kind of do a bit of what I've been up to recently. But what I've been up to recently is doing Vlogember, which is a video every day. So you don't need any more. You don't need any more of me. You've had enough, quite frankly. I've had enough of me this month. Never mind you've had enough of me. So yes, we won't worry about that. But going forward, I will do kind of chats if I'm going to do anything in particular or have done something exciting. I'm sure there will be exciting things, especially in December. We're all doing things. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it on Saturday. No, Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. I'm going to see the pantomime at Cambridge Arts Theatre. So if you're in the area, there's it's a brilliant, brilliant pantomime. We've been to see it the last, I don't know how many years, quite a few years. We didn't go last year because my mum was very ill and we always went with her. So we didn't go last year, just couldn't face it. And so this year, this will be the first year that I won't be going with her. But I'm going with the husband and I'm going with Benedict. And I shall think of her and raise my ice cream. Raise an ice cream to her because she always loved the ice cream as well. So that will be lovely. So I've got that on Sunday. He's behind you. Oh, no, you haven't. Oh, yes, I have. So I'm looking forward to that. And I get back to, because I'm in the Village Panto this year. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I am. Boos. And so I will be going back to rehearsals. I've had 2 weeks off because of my operation. So I shall be going back to rehearsals next week. So that will be good. So that's exciting times. I don't think I'll take my knitting. Quite often people do, kind of social knitting. And I'm not sure I will. Just because it's a panto and you've got to be glued to the live action and that would be brilliant. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's my exciting thing that I've got coming up. Yes, in the next week or so. So it'll probably be about a fortnight before I see you again. So happy knitting, happy sewing, happy crochet, happy crafting, whatever it is you do, happy colouring. I know a lot of people really have taken colouring to an art form. Cross stitch. I'm amazed with anybody that does these things and it inspires them and their creative juices start flowing and they spend some time doing something like that, tapping into a part of themselves that they don't normally do. So I love you for that. I absolutely love you for that. And thank you for sharing those kind of things with me. And I look forward to seeing you again sometime. This has been so lovely. Let's do this again.